Welcome to
Stage Krunchy and Milk.
Yes, it's Cleveland's longest running podcast and the place to hang with your internet besties. Got questions or comments? The email address for the show is podcast@stagecrunchyandmilk.com. Crunchy, of course, being spelled with a K.
Stage Crunch.
You can also give us a call or message us at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311.
Stage Krunchy.
We're available anywhere fine podcasts are, and of course at the website stagecrunchyandmilk.com. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever possible, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And now,
Stage Krunchy.
on with the show.
Krunchy. Stage Krunchy. Stage Krunchy.
Man,
Stage
no,
Krunchy.
do any of y'all fuck, I know y'all
Stage
fuck with Dr.
Krunchy.
Disrespect. He was never my kind of motherfucker, so
Nah. Mm-mm.
I have no
I watched
alliance
a
to this
little
dude.
bit, but I didn't really care for it.
What didn't you care for exactly?
Just the whole persona of it all. It's like I am currently watching someone stream Call of Duty behind the tablet. I just have it on mute,
Yeah.
and I just prefer watching people like calmly play. I don't like all the screaming and all that shit. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But I also
would agree
like
with you. That's
I didn't start watching people like stream games until the last like 2-3 years. So, and I know he's been doing it for like a while. So like I wasn't really hip to like I'll put it this way. I didn't hear about him and I never heard of him until he was already kicked off of Twitch.
Yeah, so I think he streams over on Kick or one of the other, streaming services.
yeah. He was on YouTube.
Was he on YouTube? God damn.
Yeah.
And so of course, like some years ago, at like I believe E3 or PAX, this motherfucker went to a bathroom filming, like into a public, bathroom. So it was already like, this, you a fool. What are you doing? So he already,
Yeah, it was like the last E3.
yeah. So he already had dirt on his name.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, when he get kicked off of Twitch, everybody's like, yo, what happened? What happened? People was like, yo, what happened? But most people was like, oh, you know what happened. Because they know what's up. You know what I'm saying? This dude just, he just got a reputation that preceded him. And then, like, the other day, some dude who used to work at Twitch was like, and he didn't say who, he just said he got kicked off for using using whispers to message underage girl.
Yeah. Essentially, he said Baca got a weird case. Why is he around?
Why is he around?
That's really what he said.
And so, of course, the internet was ablaze at that point. Yo, that's yo. And then, of course, these guys. It's always these motherfuckers who are like, "Where's the proof? Where's the proof?" And I'm like, "Y'all have look." I get it. We all want to pretend that we all are good, justice-seeking people who want to follow the rule of law, but oftentimes we be knowing what's up, and we knew something was up. Baca had a weird case. We knew it, but then, of course, he come out the other day with a wild ass, reckless ass statement. Did y'all hear this shit?
So here's the thing, like when they like, I'm very up to date on this whole thing because of my gaming group. So like when because when the first guy said what happened, we had started talking about it in our group chat, and I started like finding like other tweets that was like a video clip from a podcast from a couple months ago where somebody else had said the same thing. And then like things started like clicking in my mind, and I went in our group chat and I was like, look, I know we don't have any like proof per se, but I'm just like, my feeling right now is this motherfucker did it. Like he did something. Yeah. I'm like, I just like, I had a feeling. And then like the Dr. Disrespect dude basically just replied to the original dude that's like started it all on Sunday. Not the podcast guy from months ago, but like the guy who tweeted it out Sunday afternoon or whenever it was. And was just basically like trying to say that like nothing happened. Why would Twitch settle the lawsuit and pay me my contract in full if I did anything? This is bullshit. And then then it was like there was a little bit of silence for like a day or so. And then it was like Turtle Beach. We're no longer a Dr. Disrespect. Dr. Disrespect's own company. We're no longer with Dr. Disrespect. And I was just like, what the
San
fuck?
Francisco Giants, they dropped him too.
Yeah, man. And like last I had known, FanDuel hadn't commented yet. And then like I didn't know that he went and wrote like a diatribe, like giant tweet until like yesterday, because I was going to look up something else. And you know how Google will feed you like news stories like before you can do anything, like when you first open the browser, and it'll be like pertaining to shit you've looked up in the past. Well, they fed me like a news headline that was like, Tim the Tap Man and Nick Merckx respond to Dr. Disrespect's admission of texting with an underage person. And I was like, what? Confession? I'm like, he's been denying this shit the whole time. So like I clicked on the article, I read what it said. Then I went to Tim the Tap Man and Nick Merckx's Twitter account, saw their videos where they were just basically like, yeah, you think you know a guy almost, like this is hard for us. You know, we've been playing with this guy for years. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? So then I went to Dr. Disrespect's Twitter and I saw the giant, like 10,000 word essay basically be like, look, I fucked up. I did it, but it was going over the line, but I stopped it before it went too far, and I'm not that man, and I don't appreciate y'all calling me a pedophile when I'm not a pedophile. I hate pedophiles, and I'm just like, what? Then everyone's just like, wait a minute, my guy. If you were, like, not a pedophile, then why were you engaging in pedophile-like behavior?
Seemed real pedophilish to me. So then, of course, you know, he got homies out there, and they no matter what, and they like, well, you know, she could have been 16, or she could have been this, that, and the third. I'm like, bro, one, he already got caught once cheating on his wife. You know what I'm saying? So you're already, you know, you're looking bad. But then when you basically come out the target, and then like he made this big old statement, which I have here, and I might read some of it. He made that big ass statement. Then he edited the statement, because initially it had the word minor, a minor individual. He deleted it out to just an individual. Then motherfuckers was riding. They was like, this motherfucker said a minor, and he edited it out. So then he was like, I'm caught. So he re-edited it again to put minor individual back into the statement. And it's like, my God.
Like, I can't sound too much like Kendrick.
Because, yeah, he tried to strike a chord, bro. And so today, what's his name is? What is his name? Hold on, I want to get the guys.
Guy Beahm?
Oh no, not Guy. No. Rod Breslau, who writes for wrote this particular piece for Rolling Stone. Said he went and got, you know, this is when you would go and get the dirt, and come back, restart the Wi-Fi. Okay, and so he went and talked to sources, and they was like, oh, we said, hey, bruh, you are talking to a minor. And he indicated that was no problem and continued on. And these conversations were sexual in their nature. And so it's like, it got really real today. Oh, well, you know, here 2 hours ago when this article came out from the time we record. And it's just like, bruh. Here, I'm going to read you Dr. Disrespect's rant. The Twitch ban. Hello, I want you to know this is a white dude who wears a dark mullet wig, puts on fake body armor to look like a Call of Duty character, like an operative, and sunglasses and stuff like that there. I can see this man on the street tomorrow. I would not know what he looked like. That's kind of in his favor when you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody knows what he actually look like.
The guy who runs that group Phase, like I don't know what they classify themselves anymore. They were a video gaming clan, but now they're like
a clan, right? Esports team.
They're
right?
a clan, but but they do like all kinds of shit, and you know they're into like fashion and promotion, all that kind of shit. But whatever. The guy who like runs that, he put out a tweet yesterday that I saw that it had a picture of the Dr. Disrespect guy without all the shit on, just as normal himself. And he's like, taking some time off is probably really smart. What you could do is just come back without all the get up and really lean into it and join the haters hating on Dr. Disrespect and come back and call yourself Mr. Respect and pretend like you don't know who Dr. Disrespect is and that's not you. Really lean into it.
Fucking idiot. All right, let me read you this statement. The Twitch ban. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and I. And we made the painful decision collectively, but that's not what happened, to have me step down. Again, I want you to know that is not what occurred, but he thinks that happened, so good on him. Our team is full of incredibly talented and good people that have high career ambitions and families, and I never want to jeopardize the culture that we have carefully crafted. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Where there were Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor, see, he added that back because he had took that out. He had individual minor initially, deleted it and just left it as individual, and then got and had to put that minor back in 2017. The answer is yes. Were they real intentions behind these messages? The answer is no. I had no intentions to catch a predator. They were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. He was planning on meeting this individual at TwitchCon. That's how he got. They were setting up a meeting for TwitchCon. And then Twitch got his ass. Is like, yo. So you didn't meet, but that's only because Chris Hansen showed up to stop you from meeting. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. He was under contract with Twitch to be a streamer at Twitch. They gave him a long contract. Basically, Twitch, it was a contract, and they probably didn't have any kind of a clause in it for bullshit like this, and so they had to pay him. But don't ever get it twisted. It ain't like shit was sweet. It just was a legal hiccup that I guarantee you now they probably have a behavioral clause in their contracts going forward. Let me be clear. It was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. You keep saying shit like that, bro. It just makes you look so much more guilty. Now, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take the responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father. It should have never happened. I get it. I'm not perfect, and I fucking own my shit. This was stupid. Now, with all that said, don't get it fucking mistaken. I've seen all the remarks and labels being thrown around so loosely. Social media is a destruction zone. I'm no fucking predator or pedophile. Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me knows where I stand on those things and those types of people. Fuck that. That's a different level of disgust that I fucking hate even hearing about. Don't be labeling me as the worst of the worst with your exaggerations. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But I think I've said what I need to say regarding the ban itself. That's it. That's why Twitch made the decision in 2020. To my community, industry friends that have supported me, I apologize. I wish I would have said it sooner. You guys have always shown me and my family love and support throughout all these years. We love you guys like you can't imagine. I have the fucking best communities and circle. If any of this has made you uncomfortable, I get it. You don't have to support me anymore, but just know that you always have been greatly appreciated. But trust me when I say this, to all my haters that live and breathe social media with zero real life experience, I don't give a fuck about you. Finally, if you're uncomfortable with this entire statement and think I'm a piece of shit, that's fine. But I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made this mistake all those years ago. I'm taking an extended vacation with my family, as mentioned on my stream, and I'm coming back with a heavy weight off my shoulders. They want me to disappear. Yeah, fucking right. I'd like to go back a little bit and I think maybe Dr. Disrespect don't think he's a pedophile because I think he probably just thinks, oh, pedophiles like little kids, not like teenagers. But my nigga, you was a pedophile. You was looking for child pussy. Actually, we know it is a minor individual. That's an assumption on my part that he's looking for straight relationships. I have no idea how Dr. Disrespect swang. But you was looking for some action from an underage human. And, bruh.
Well, there was something along the way. There was something along the way that he was saying that first, I guess it came out that this person, I believe, was like 16 years old. He was like, I didn't know they were 16 because it wasn't like a face-to-face type of thing. But then the other commentary that came out like, oh, but you're married, so what? Like, so you're just okay. So then you're just like, you just cheat. Like either way, this is not a win. Like, what are you defending, man? Like you're saying, oh no, I don't. I wasn't soliciting from a underage. I was just sitting. You know, like either way, like it's not a good look. Anyone be slicing. The fuck are you talking about, man?
Faux show. I just bruh. It's you, it's Drake, it's all these motherfuckers of the world who don't get caught out here doing this bullshit. And it's whack. It's wild whack. I want to see if I can get a hold of this. I want to see this Rolling Stone article. But it's, of course, behind a paywall. But, Box has taught me how to work my way around these matters.
Has that been working out for you?
I haven't had to use it too much. But I'm seeing if I could make it happen again. What was it? It was like a archive thing, right?
Yeah, I have it bookmarked, and that's how I go to it.
Here, I'm gonna throw this in the chat. If you could,
I'm not gonna be able to do it on my tablet. I don't think.
Oh, you can't. Okay. Here, let me see, because you sent.
Yeah,
I thought you sent it
on my phone.
Man, Box gave me a fucking superpower with that shit. I want y'all to know.
Yeah, I think it's like a government archival website or something like that, and it basically just gets behind all the paywalls. Yeah, I found that website during the Deshaun Watson trade times, because there was like a article I was trying to read on The Athletic at the time, and I couldn't get to it because like I didn't have an Athletic account anymore, and like people were talking about it on Twitter, and people were like, I can't read the article. Then someone just came in with that link, and so like I read the article, and I was like, well, shit, if it works for this, I wonder if it works for other things. Then I figured out how to put the thing at the top, and I was like, oh, we're off and running, baby. So I bookmarked that shit so I wouldn't lose it.
Let's see. This is from this Rolling Stone article. I'm only reading you bits and pieces of it. Like I said, Ron Breslin on the Breslau and Miles Clear on the byline. On Monday, Beahm was the guy's name is Guy Beahm. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Disrespect is a character he plays. Beahm was fired from Midnight Society, the gaming studio he co-founded, which said it had investigated the allegation against him after learning of it the night of Connor's cryptic tweet. Remember, I told you somebody tweeted about this. The company did not reply to a request or comment. Then on Tuesday, reporting from The Verge's Ash Paris and Bloomberg's Cecilia D'Anastasio matched the details of Beam's case to Connor's account. 3 sources confirmed to Bloomberg that Beahm had been kicked off the site for sending direct messages to a minor that included sexually graphic details. 2 of those sources also confirmed that Beahm had asked her about her plans for the upcoming TwitchCon. We know it's a her now. That's a step toward it. That's a little more data than I had a few moments ago. Beahm, who did not reply to a request for comment on this story, once again took to Twitter to defend himself, this time with a longer statement in which he admitted to having mutual conversations with a minor that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate. The tweet's edit history shows that Beahm had edited the tweet after posting it to remove the word minor, replacing it with individual. Though once readers noticed the change, the word minor reappeared. That's what I just told y'all. I just read y'all his name, so I don't need to read what he wrote. But let me read what they said. A former Twitch trust and safety employee who worked for the platform at the time Beahm was banned and has direct knowledge of the matter confirmed to Rolling Stone that Beahm continued to send sexually graphic messages to a minor he knew to be underage. The former employee, who requested anonymity to avoid jeopardizing their career, also said the crucial element of Beam's latest defensive tweet are inaccurate. I recall that Dr. Disrespect was made aware of the individual that they were underage during the conversation, after which he indicated that this was no problem and continued on. The former employee says, there was no confusion. Messages sent after this was acknowledged were no less graphic and sexually explicit in sexually explicit nature than before. And I think more than the categorization of leaning too much in a direction of being inappropriate might indicate. Bruh. So again, and again, they always getting caught because they are gross people who should be caught. They're not caught enough, and they don't suffer consequences because, like I said, his consequence in this case is he won't stream on YouTube for a little bit. He'll come back in 3 months, and everybody who loves him will be like, "Yay, Doc is back," and he'll be fine. There'll be no consequence to this because, you know what I'm saying, and like he said, I didn't commit a crime. Well, you know what? You're a real piece of shit then. How about that? You're good otherwise. So we just kind of leave it be and we keep motherfucking moving. But I think I want to talk about that with the homies. Chaufie's in and out, y'all. He is trying. His computer is playing with him, and then he's trying to make it work on his iPad, and it's being weird. So might just be me and Dan for the remainder, and that's okay because not like me and Dan ain't did a show or two together in our time. But let me get some lyrics going for you. Step into the party, it's me, God Almighty, go still holding that shotty. Dustin Alizé, 3/4 Tim's terry cloth robes, crisp hundreds in the envelope, dookied on the globe. Thank God for my Wallaby shoe, it done saved me. Up 3-0 in Salt Lake City. Burgundy minks whips with sinks in them, broccoli blown, ill disease breath, elephant skin. Meet the black boy George. Dusted on my honeymoon. Bitch like my wife, she popped my Ghostface balloon. Bitches think that I'm Dominican. / half Indian. Milk on my mustache. Drop to my chinny chin. Dive into dangerous parts, building with thirsty mammals. White man scream. Swim stark sharks. Hello and welcome to it. It's episode 542, and we riding through Carroll County. I'm your host, Entertainment 13. Joined as always my best friend. It's the... I guess technically he is the 216 zone, but I was reading Ant's line. It's the big homie Lunchbox 2099.
Yeah, Anthony would have a couple years of 216 ownership on me.
A few. I mean, you was in your father's balls that whole time. We'd just give it up to that. It counts.
Yeah, but he would have been in his father's balls equal amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
either way you got it, either way you slice it, he's got me.
He wins the day. I'm sorry. Do you know that? Did we say about this? Anyway, Anna's out this weekend. He is celebrating his current youngest child's birthday, and they are out of town and having a good time and kicking it. And so it is what it is. It's just me, Box, and I'll introduce Chaufie because Chaufie just popped back up. Damn, Chaufie went outside. Chaufie had to go try to find the Wi-Fi in the garage. Is it hot out there, my nigga?
No, it's just everything is like fucked. Like I had to reset my phone. I even tried to do it with my phone. It was like, nope, not gonna work. Like I don't know. It's just one of those technology days where it's like I said, the MacBook crashed. Where it's like now it's just an infinite reboot loop. I went back in to see if I can get that to work. iPad was just running fucking super bad and slow. So I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So it's just one of those moments where it's like, oh, you want shit to work? No. Not today. Which I've been on like technology pretty much all day long today that I'm like, I don't understand right now why it's like not. So now I'm out in the garage, trying to make things worse. You got fucking hammers and shit.
You have a ever so slight like echo, but I mean, like I said, it'll be what it is. If I gotta clean it up in post, or if I can't clean it up in post, guess what? My man is doing me a solid being in here for Ant, and is trying his best to work with busted technology. So respect it.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm fucking trying, man. Let me tell you. Yeah. Oh boy. All right.
Shit. Still standard fare. You know what it's gonna be. I'm gonna read you a couple of stories. Box gonna go. Chaufie gonna go. I have really nothing to add this week. It's just vibes, and that's what the deal is. And this one was affecting me personally, but not really. But I am one of. Well, here, let's get to it. Crowds, booze, which I have seen no example of. Vandalism, staffing. Cleveland suburbs shift pool policies for non-residents in midst of summer heat wave. Some are only allowing residents in to swim. Mark Opera on the byline, seeing Cleveland is where this came from. The need for new rules regarding non-residents access at Parma Heights Greenbrier Commons Water Park had been brewing for a while following June's heat wave, which led to longer lines and strain on lifeguards. Then on June 8th, a pool goer from out of state brought some alcohol to the pool. The police were called. The pool goer was asked to leave. So this one dude, and that's enough to get him in the byline, sir. So it was creating a lot of issues. Parma Heights Mayor Marie Gallo told Scene on Monday. Covert booze and unruly visitors amidst mid-June overcrowding, she said, created a very negative experience for our residents and non-resident seasoned pass holders. Starting July 1st, Greenbrier Commons will no longer sell day passes for out-of-towners and non-residents. Drop-in passes, unless they're invited to come swim by a Parma Heights resident themselves. That move, a press release Monday added, was to also ensure that Greenbrier staff members are treated with the utmost respect. Parma Heights' curtailing of who can cool off in its public pool system reflects a greater reaction from city pools and water parks as municipalities deal with the combined impact of a nasty summer heat wave and a national lifeguard shortage. In the past month, a handful of cautious city halls, and parks and rec departments have shifted entry rates, cut hours, or turned away non-residents in a bid to try and keep public pools as inviting, relaxing places to be. In Lakewood, which is eyeing a massive redesign of its Madison Park, one has to show proof of local address to get into Beck's or Foster's pool, or come with someone who has one. In Medina, summer memberships were upped for the first time since 2016 by nearly a quarter to $170 and $445 for a 3-month pass for those out of the school district. Out of stress on staff from non-residents. And in Berea, Mayor Cyril Kleem upped police patrols and installed cameras at the city's Coal Lake and tightened curfew hours due to persistent incidents of vandalism and rowdy behavior. A statement on the city's website read last week. Coal Lake used to be open 24/7. As of mid-June, it's off limits starting at 10 p.m. I used to catch Pokemon there. I mean, I guess I still could, but, you know. Such rollbacks come as Cleveland continues to eye its own city pool comeback optimistically after raising the lifeguard hourly rate up $4 to $15 per hour. Bro, lifeguards can make $25 depending on the city. Cleveland is playing itself on this one. City Hall announced that on June 11th that all operable outdoor pools would be open this summer except for deep ends, despite the effects of the national staff shortage. Which is also why Gallo supported the policy change at Greenbrier. Parma Heights, she said, holds to a strict 1 lifeguard to 35 guest guideline, one that would be thrown a loop if non-residents were given the same preference as Parma Heightsters. Never knew that Heightster was how we describe somebody from that particular time. Although non-residents can still purchase season passes, Gallo said. With Greenbrier receiving $100,000 in upgrades from new filters, pumps, and chairs for its 2 pools, Gallo asserts that the policy rewrite wasn't intended to disgruntle uninvited guests, but more so like that repair money spent to show locals that City Hall isn't letting its amenities crumble. The last thing we want is a negative experience for those people waiting in line to get in, she said. A major refresh along those lines is why Willoughby is seeking its own master plan to construct a new aquatic park. One Willoughby Parks and Rec chief Julian Keller told Scene that includes all of the amenities hot in a post-pandemic list of things to do. A new dog park, a pickleball court, a splash pad. A more promising route, Keller said, than spending taxpayer dollars to repair its 59-year-old municipal pool, which has seen $250,000 in repair costs in the past decade, namely fixing cracked pool edges that leaked thousands of gallons of water. Although this wrote water, because I told y'all this man does not edit his shit before he pushes the press, and I've seen multiple mistakes in this as I read it. Well, we just want to offer amenities for our residents, she said. I believe with all of the health perks where people get out and exercise, it's more beneficial. And that's the end of that one. I feel like I need to write Mr. Opera, be like, bruh, could you fix this? Here's the deal. I would like to be up on my soapbox and say, man, it's fucked up. It's hot as balls out here. It's crazy that y'all go, when it's hot as crazy out here that y'all gonna turn people away. But I live in a city. I pay my taxes, grumpily, but I do. And they use that tax money to have a pool that I can go swim in. And I think it's okay to say this is for residents unless you are invited by a resident as a guest. And in the city I live in, they made it so they basically said, look, you can one to one resident, one guest. So if you got 5 people, you need five residents to come through with you. And it sucks. I hate that, people, probably come here because, it's safe and it's a little more quiet. But it just is what it is. My kid's first job, I told y'all, works at one of these local pools, and has had come home a couple of days and be like, yo, this motherfucker was wilding and got mad that I wouldn't give them a refund after telling them no refunds, reach over the counter and flip my keyboard. Because people are...
Damn.
And... and I'm just like, that's wild. Because I guess if you want to be mad, I think he said it was like $7, $8. So not even a ridiculous amount. But we're told, hey, we're about to close in X amount of time. There are no refunds. And yet and still you was like, fuck it. I paid the money and going in there. I don't know to what end, thinking what you was going to pull off. But that's what it was. You were not going to get a refund. And you didn't get a refund. And so all you got to do is walk out and be mad. So it's like people are, if individuals could act like they have good sense, maybe this wouldn't be an issue. I don't know who trying to sneak brews into the damn pool. That's, bruh, like, come on, man, be respectful. And who knows? It did say there was an out-of-state guest, so who knows? Maybe in their state, that shit is sick. Maybe they all good and can come through with the cooler of Coronas or whatever. But whack shit. I hate that. And that's the thing. I hate that others have to suffer because of some other asshole's nonsense. But that's what it comes down to in this situation, man. So, what's y'all pool situation out west, man?
There's a lot of similarities in terms of like not a ton of like public pools like in this type of situation, but I feel like the public pools are in the right locations in terms of like access. Like you find them more inner city environments, like a lot less in the suburbs, but it's like a lot of the suburban homes have a fucking pool, or like if you looked at an aerial view of my neighborhood, it's like every third house has a pool. So somebody knows somebody who's got a pool. But like if you're like you're fucking in Inglewood, which is just landlocked city. I mean, it's not super landlocked. It's close enough to the ocean, but still, it's apartments, it's shopping centers. You got to go to the pool. Like you got to go to the local pool. You got to go to the Y or something like that. But you do hear a lot of these situations because it actually made me think more of like going to like more of like the concert in the park type of scenario, where it's like people just want to be outside drinking and in their minds having a good time. but they don't realize like, but you're fucking this up for everyone else. It's just that, and it's not even a new logic as it is. It's just it's always existed. Like, come on, buddy, it's just one beer. Come on, it's just a little bit of wine in here, and it's like, yeah, that may be true, but what you're not seeing is the bigger picture of like, is it in a glass bottle? Do kids have access to this? I don't know what your reaction is to alcohol. You might turn into the most violent fucking person I know, or you might be a depressed mess. Either way, we still got to clean your ass up, like, but in some, like, let's say like residences where it's like it's a community type of pool in like the apartment complex or townhouses, you will find like it's not so much 1-to-1, but you have to have somebody with you, who lives in the area. And if it does get too crowded, they will like enact a sort of like, hey, listen, this is primarily for the people who live here, and today's a super hot day, so we're not gonna allow guests, or we're gonna ask the guests to leave. Yeah. So it gets a little touchy because on one hand, it's like, yeah, but it's fucking hot, and people can't beat the heat, and people don't have AC, so it's like an access type of situation. But it also is like, yeah, but you can't be fucking it up for other people. Like, you got to recognize, like, hey, I'm getting in on this privilege right now, so let me have a good time and not fuck it up,
Man, that's the wackness of it, man. What I want to pool, if I had the land and so forth for it, I think the ideal of a pool is dope, but also like the upkeep of a pool seems to be just far too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's straight up. That's for real. Because I was, during the pandemic, I was looking into like, okay, maybe we can get like what's called like a pixie pool. And that's just a small pool, like for your backyard. And because we have the space for a pool, but not for like a big ass, like, what you consider a backyard pool. Yeah, no, we ain't got none of that, enough to maybe jump in, swim around, just like relaxing. But it was like, one, off top, it was going to be super expensive. And then it's like, you got to run a lot of like hardware, like you're running tubes and pipes and fucking getting the water in, getting the water out, all kinds of crazy shit. And I was just like, and then you got to hire a pool guy, because the reality is I ain't doing it myself, or that bitch is going to turn green instantly because I will have done it wrong. Everyone's going to come out looking like they got vitiligo. No shade on vitiligo people, but just saying, like, I'll be adding too much bleach.
Yeah. It's real. It's real. Oh, man. Well, that's what's crackulating to know in the world of a local pool situation. As always, you know what I'm saying? I love a fine local cannabis story. So here we go. We have another local cannabis story that actually matches up with last week's cannabis story. So let's get to it. This is from the Ohio Capital Journal. Megan Henry on the byline. Let me tell you something about Miss Megan Henry. Never fuck her when she press release on her articles. Clean, always well written.
Oh, she ain't writing water?
Many dispensaries move one step closer to being able to sell recreational marijuana. I don't like they call it marijuana, because actually, once I found out that marijuana is just a bullshit term the motherfuckers made up to be racist, I just try to call it cannabis. But I get it. We've been calling it marijuana for so long that it's hard to change. But call it cannabis. Don't call it marijuana.
Wait, hold on, time out. I'm gonna need you to educate me on this. What do you mean? I didn't know.
Basically, they made up marijuana to basically be like the Mexicans is doing some that dirty marijuana back in the day. That shit is a direct hateration of Mexican people when they were trying to stop people from imbibing with cannabis.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that's where it was going, but I was just like, I need to know. I'm gonna have to look up the TikTok story.
Yeah, just some hateration, holleration. No, that's actually something I knew for a very long while. That's pre-TikTok. Your boy knew. But let's get to Ohioans will like to be able to legally purchase recreational cannabis. I'm just going to fix it every time she has marijuana. I'm going to fix it. So if I say cannabis, I said it right, or somebody else said it right. Recreational cannabis sooner than initially expected. The State Division of Cannabis Control recently awarded 60 dual-use provisional licenses to various medical cannabis dispensaries, cultivators, labs, and processors, according to the state's online database. 31 dispensaries, 15 cultivators, 11 processors, and 5 labs received licenses. However, a dual-use provisional license does not automatically allow the sale of recreational cannabis, according to an email from Jamie Crawford, a spokesman for the Division of Cannabis Control. Rather, it acts as a placeholder. And actually, I want you to know the state does call it the Division of Cannabis Control. That's not me fixing it at that point in time. That's what the state called it. The state got it right. How come everybody else can't get it right? By meeting various requirements, including having an inspection and demonstrating that employees can tell the difference between medical and recreational sales. There have been no certificate of operation issued to dispensaries to begin selling non-medical cannabis at this point, Crawford told the OCJ, the Ohio Capital Journal, which is where we're reading it. It's hard to determine when exactly recreational cannabis sales will begin in the Buckeye State. There will be no one singular day when sales begin, Crawford says. We will start issuing licenses, and it will be up to the retailer based on staffing, stock, and other considerations as to which day they will begin sales. Ohio legalized cannabis for those 21 and up last year through Issue 2, a citizens initiative that received 57% of the vote. At the time, those behind Issue 2 speculated the first round of licenses wouldn't be issued until August. License applications opened earlier this month and must be approved or denied by my birthday, September 7th. Under Issue 2, Ohioans can grow up to 6 plants with up to 12 per household. The House and Senate had different ideals of changing marijuana legislation after Issue 2 passed, something lawmakers are able to do with citizens' initiatives. But neither proposal was able to pass in the opposite chamber because the guy in the House was like, I like the way the law is written, and I don't like what the Senate's trying to do to it. So basically, this law stands as written, and you can have a lot of weed in your house with enormous THC levels, just off the books type. like it's insane how high. The Ohio got that good weed, y'all. If you don't know, now you know. It is going to be crazy when people can just, I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. Our medical requirements are pretty loose. Not saying you don't have to have an issue, you do, and you do have to have it. A doc has to sign off on it, but that's a whole entry in itself of a doctor who'll be like, yes, I will sign off on your medical needs, which can be anything from anxiety to arthritis. That was just 2 A words. I didn't really go far in the alphabet there, did I? But that being said, people already know Ohio got that good bud, and like I said, our recreational, the standard the state has, the law is written in, also makes for some very potent smoking. So, or whatever, however you imbibe. So exciting times for the state of Ohio. We read last week how some haters out there trying to prevent people from getting selling chronic in their neighborhood, but whatever. A lot of cities are gonna be like, it's all good, baby. Just come get it from here. If they don't want the money, come get it from over here. And that's what's gonna be the plot and the scheme of it. Just realized did I actually, let me see, make sure I save these to my notes because I don't want to be yeah. I got the article saved in my notes, so I don't got to worry about me not having those in your notes when we get to it. But you know what it is. First up, as always, is Tatum in the form of story time with Lunchbox. Box, what's the good word, pimp?
Well, I suddenly found myself with time on my hands this past Saturday. And so I
thanks, man. Thanks. I didn't expect it either, Daniel. I didn't expect it either. Well, go on, sir. Go on.
Yeah. So I ended up going well, all right, let me back up a little bit. So when I first went to that Magic tournament last we'll call it an event. It wasn't really a tournament. It was the event last Wednesday. I had downloaded that app that I had talked about, and I was toiling around on there a little bit, and I found that, like, when you're logged in, there's actually a tab on there that tells you all the events that are like happening at all the stores in like a certain mile radius that you can set to, like from where you are. And I think it was preset to like 10 miles or something. I think I moved it out to like 25 or something. But I was looking at like to see what people were doing because I wanted like to one, see all the places around me that were still open and running events, but two, like see if I could find something like that I might want to do coming up or whatever. And there was a place by me that was doing a sealed event on Saturday at like 5 p.m. And so I was like, well, shit, I'll go to that because it's not too far. It's like right down the street from Bonchon. Or
could you explain what
Bonchon?
Bonchon? Could you explain what a sealed event is?
Sealed is basically where you get 6 booster packs and you open them up and you make a deck out of it to play. So like you don't have to have anything like beforehand. Like you just buy in. The price for this event was like, I think I paid $60 after like taxes and everything. Because like this particular set, the packs are like more expensive just because it's like kind of a specialty set with all the reprints and the expensive cards in it and stuff. So the pack, like the Wednesday drafts, are usually like 15, unless they've gone up in price the last 10 years. But I've been paying like 30 the last 2 weeks because I drafted again last night too. But the sealed was like 60 because there's 6 expensive packs and then a pack into the prize pool, so it adds up. But so I went there, and when I got there, I was like, I walked into this place. I'd never been there before. I'd heard about it, but I'd never been there. And there was like a bunch of people inside. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, the good turnout. And I walk up to the counter, and I was like, hey, are you guys running the sealed event at 5 o'clock? And he's like, hopefully. And I was like, he goes, if you're here for that, he goes, you would make number 5. I was like, number 5? I looked around. He's like, oh, yeah, they're all playing like Pokemon or whatever. They were playing other shit. And so I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, I'll hang around. And if we, they show up and we have enough people, I'm like, I'll do it. If not, it's no worries. I'll just go home. So I looked around the place for a little bit, and we ended up having the 5 of us. And so I did it. And I'll be honest, like while it was cool to be able to like open the packs and play, being there and only having 5 people in the event like kind of made it sucky. Yes. And like I wasn't really vibing with the people running the place either. I was I don't know, it was like the guy wasn't openly friendly with me necessarily, like until like I spent like a couple $100 because I bought something. But then like when I was leaving, he was just like trying to like almost like, it was like in his mind he goes, oh, this guy will spend money, we got to make sure he comes back. He's just like, oh, we do this on Saturdays and bus, and you should come back, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, maybe. I'm like, I know the next couple Saturdays I'm supposed to be busy, so I'm like, if I don't come back for a while, I'm like, it's not a reflection of anything that happened here tonight. I'm like, I assure you, it's just I literally know that the next like 3 Saturdays at the very least, I already have things going on that I wouldn't be able to come here. But like, I also would like prefer to go someplace else, I think, or at least try somewhere else before I would go that again if I had an option to. Yeah. But I did that event, and then I did an event last night, and I went 2-1 in each event, and both times I lost, I could tell it was to the like ultra competitive person that was also playing in the tournament. And each time I lost, it wasn't because they beat me, like they won. But anyone who's played Magic knows that like you have to draw lands and to be able to cast your spells and that, and like each person that I lost to, we'll just say I had mana problems where like I either didn't draw lands or I drew nothing but lands, and that's sometimes that happens. That shit happens. Like it's the name of the game. You can't really avoid it. But otherwise, I'm playing pretty well. I'm learning the cards. Like I've been watching this guy stream while I've been working in the morning. He gets on and he streams for a couple hours every morning, it seems. So I've been watching him, learning the cards, and I feel it all coming back. Like I got second place last night. I I got second in that or third in that 5-person. That's only because like we only had 5, so one guy got a bye in the first round, so he only had to win one round before he got to the finals and fucking drew with the person. So he didn't really have to fucking do anything. But yeah, I took third in that. Like I smashed the guy round 1, lost to the guy round 2, where like it was I wasn't really in it, and then round 3 I smashed that guy and he quit. He quit after one game. And then last night, like I beat the guy round 1. Round 2, like I had a back and forth where like the first game I didn't draw my third resource until like turn 5, and I still almost won. And then in game 2, I drew over half of my resources and only 4 actual spells, and I still almost won. And then I ended up smashing the guy in round 3. Like he quit too, and so it's nice. I dipped into my poker or my gambling winnings and ordered some more cards. So I took out like another grand. And so I've got stuff on the way. I don't think I'm going to go too much deeper on that right now. I'm going to get this stuff together. And so I just basically wanted another deck in rotation of something like different than the other thing. And so I grabbed that stuff. But I'm having fun again. I thought that like and like not that it like overwhelms me, but I remember when I quit the first time, or I guess I should say I quit the second time, was because I felt like it was becoming too much, and I don't think it'll get to that point like this iteration of my MTG career, but I could definitely feel that competitive nature coming back again.
Yeah,
and it's kind of nice. I missed having something to look forward to like compete again.
Well, of course, again, I'm always going to be on your team for this one because I like it, but I also like that you're enjoying it. It's kind of coming back to you in its natural way, and you can go out there and just run fools, which is just, I don't know. I think it's very nice, and probably just as you play, you'll probably get hip to the big, I guess I don't want to say bigger, but spots that have more players, because like maybe your vibe for that shop is a lot of people's vibe for that shop, and that's why they don't go there.
Well, the one that I go to on Wednesdays, like they get people. Like it's not a concern for that there, and like that, it's the place that I was going to all years ago. So like they're happy to have me back. Because I spend money. But yeah, that other place, like I don't know like the clientele there, but like it was funny because like I told you, like I played the guy, like so I didn't think they were gonna give out a pack to like the third place, and so I was like, all right, well if we're not playing for anything, you win, dude. I quit. Like I was just be like, all right, I'm gonna go grab some dinner and go home and play Call of Duty. Like if we're not playing for nothing, I'm not about to sit here for another hour and just like twiddle my dick with this guy and not have it mean nothing. I'm not like, if I'm not playing for nothing, I'm going home. Like I want to have fun and play, but like if like I joined a $60 tournament and there's nothing on the line, well then I'm out of here. Like, but then they like put a packet on it, so I was like, all right, well fine, if we're playing for a pack, I'll hang around. And then like I utterly smashed the guy, and he quit after the first game. He's like, all right, no, you win. It's fine. You can take the pack. And he's like, but can I open it? And I was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. You could open it. I don't care, whatever.
That's an addiction. My man was like, but can I sniff this heroin? Let me get that.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, whatever. Like, if you open it, I open it. I don't give a shit. And like, if anything, you opening it saves me the hassle of having to fucking crack it and go through it. I can sit here and get these lands that I have to return to the store out of my deck, so you're saving me time. But then he looked through it and he opened me up a fetch land, which was nice because I need those again. Like I sold them all years ago, so I got to get them back now. And that's one of the things that's in this set. So that was nice to hit that out of that pack. And then he was like talking to me about like what I had in my sealed pool, and I was showing him and shit. And there was one card I had played against him that's like, well, I'll classify it as a limited card. Where like in a limited format like draft or sealed, where your options are lessened, it's a very powerful effect. but it's not something that generally competitive people would put into like their constructed decks of shit they actually own for a tournament. And so those cards tend to be worth like 10 cents to $1, like depending on popularity and whatnot. And so like to me, it was like, it wasn't worth anything to me. I didn't care about it. And he's like looking at my stuff. He's like, hey, would you want to trade that? And I'm like, here, I took it out of the sleeve and I like kind of like flicked it over to him across the table. I was like, you just fucking have it. And he's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, I don't care. Just take it. He goes, why would you do that? And I'm like, because you want it and I don't really need it. He goes, you don't want like something for it? I was like, you can just have it, man. I'm like, it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's, you know, in modern times, it's very hard for like, wait, it's not something for something? Like, you sure? Like, I don't know. It raises more questions.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Why?" Like, he's like, "Why would you do that?" The other guy that was like kind of like working the shop that was also playing in the tournament, he goes, "Because it's a 10-cent rare, dude." And he's like, "Are you sure you don't want anything?" He's like, "You could take something out of my deck." And he like hands me his stack of cards. I was like, "Fine." I'm like, "I'll take this uncommon. I don't care. It's cool if it'll make you happy." But then he's just like, "Man, you should come back and like." We do commanders on Tuesdays and this, and that, and the other. And I was like, yeah, maybe. We'll see. You know, I'm like, just enjoy the card, buddy.
Yeah.
But he's like what I would classify as like the casual Magic player. Like, he wants to have fun. Like, he enjoys opening the cards and all that kind of stuff. But he's the type of man that will never, ever win a highly competitive, like, high-skill event ever. But you need those people. Like, I'm someone who like would want like I'm the highly competitive, wanted to play to win the big one type of player. But you need the lifeblood of the game is that guy, not me. Like you need him out there spending $200 on booster boxes every 2 months, not me. You know, like I want as little monetary investment as I can get while still maintaining competitive nature. Like that's your bread and butter. So you got to keep that guy happy so the game stays on.
What do they call it?
That's who fills the room.
Mm-hmm.
There's a comic book / game shop around here, and they if I'm walking around at night, every now and again I'll see them in there playing. So
I know of it, and due to personal reasons that I can't really say on the show, I can't go there.
Ah, is it beef?
Not mine. It's and I don't know if it's necessary. It's.
You respect somebody enough to not go to a spot that they got beef with. Respect it. That is all right. It's a nice shop, and they're very cool. So I like them as people, but I don't know behind the scenes shit. They could be the most racist idiots or whatever. So you might have some information I don't. So it's all to the good. But
I mean, you know.
I was thinking, is this going to be like? Is this turning from like LARPing to like real throwing of hands?
What I'll say is, like I have some friends that were enthralled in a separation.
Yes.
Let's just say that the people who own that place have a connection to those people, and during said separation, weren't happy with all parties involved.
So, sides had to be chose. You chose. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, I don't know them. I just know what was told to me by the people that are involved with them, under certain circumstances. So, like, I don't know those people that own that place or run it or whatever the terms are based on what I know. I've never met them, don't know who they are. I just know that my personal relationships, I can't go there if I want to support the people that I care about.
Now, this is where we take a break and Dan explains everything to me and you don't hear about it on the podcast because I cut it right out. again, I'm just glad you've returned to the sport, and of course you seem to be trucking at it, and I like that too. So I think that's pretty dope, man. So that is what's up, Chaufie, man. You get stories time with Lunchbox. Only it's Chaufie. What's the good word, bro? What do you care to share with the listeners this week? Also, keep in mind, we got a whole nother fucking Cadillac to record this Monday. Don't give it all away.
Yeah. I'm gonna sprinkle some breadcrumbs, so hopefully some listeners come over in our direction. Usually I don't sound so terrible too, but it's just one of those days. But I mean, it's been a lot going on. Wrapped up another school year, very successsly, and I kind of had to throw down a little bit with my district office. I don't think if I talked about this on the last Cadillac. Okay, so we do assessments at the beginning of the year and the end of the year to see if we got some growth, right? And on average, the district for I think language arts, the growth was from the first beginning of the year assessment to the end was about 26% growth. For math, it was about 25%. At my school site, we in language arts went 96% growth in language arts and 90% growth in math. We fucked it up. And so then when I was talking to my director with getting my end of the year evaluation, she was like, hey, great job. This is fantastic. And she's like, you're really proud of the work you do. And I said, I go, I'm not trying to be disrespectful here. Appreciate the recognition that you're giving me. I go, but this is actually hurtful to me and my staff and my students. I said, because when we talk about recognition, in my district, it's a very, it's a weird district. It's not usually a lot of districts are kind of like a monoculture, where it's just usually this same sort of socioeconomic status, same language groups, kind of stuff like that. Yeah, there's some variance in there, but it's kind of just very samey. Whereas in my district, it's if you go from one end, it's super high end socioeconomic, super conservative. You go to my end of the district and it's working class, blue collar, second language learner. It's just different. And then everything in between. And so I was I'm going to be much angrier when we come into our next year's meetings. I said, because who doesn't get recognition? My school site. But who does get praise? The schools with the money. The schools where you have the ultra conservatism, saying, if you don't do this for me, we're going to sue. We're going to do this and that. Tell me what other school got the same growth as mine? Just name it. And she was like, well, it's about us being a team. I said, no. Because when you send out newsletters, when you're putting out information in the social media and you're praising schools, guess what school never gets recognized? Mine. But guess who's killing it? Mine. I said, so I'm going to fight. I said, so I want you to be prepared. And so she kind of backed off and she goes, you know what? It's fair. She's like, because you're not fighting for what you don't have. You're fighting for what you did. Yeah. She's like, and I have to respect it. She's like, you guys did the work. She's like, with the limited resources we have, she's like, we really need to look at you and what your school was doing because nobody else had this growth. And I said, right. I said, but you keep disrespecting us. You keep doing things like this. You keep pushing us further to the side to be yeah, but it's them. And you know how their community is. I said, now look at my community. My community's whooping everyone's ass. I said, so next year, you come with me with this bullshit again, I'm going to be coming at everybody. And she was like, well, there's no need to cuss. I was like, oh, no. I want you to know I'm upset. I go, we did this. We did this without support. We did this without recognition. And my community deserves this recognition. I said, so next time you put something out into the district where you send some stupid ass video about look at this school and how amazing they did because they fucking collected cans for the boys club. I don't care about that. Or Boy Scouts. No. Look at the academic growth because the reality is this is about student achievement. It's not about, did we give to the local Kiwanis club? I give a fuck about those guys. My kids did it. So that was kind of a big piece for me. And that's but like I said, in the end, she was just like, I can't fight you. You're not wrong. And I was like, yeah, I know I'm not wrong. Relax. So that was I just had to send that message and she was like, okay. But then I've just been on vacation. I attended the the greatest Juneteenth celebration of all, which was Ken and Friends, the pop out. Fuck, man. Words cannot describe what it was like to be in the room. Like, I was really hoping that like Amazon was going to keep the restream available so that I could just see what it was like on the opposite end. Because I know we were kind of texting and you were saying at one point it sounded a little light in the crowd. Man,
it got better as it went along. I think they.
Let me tell you, it was loud as fuck in there. We were turning up, and it was just like nobody was really sitting. Nobody was really like, "Oh, this is whack." Like people were hype, and I mean, even from the get go, it was a moment to be had.
Yeah. They definitely either they tweaked something or whatever, or just it got louder as it went along. Because by the time we got, like I said, when we got to Kendrick's time, clear as day, you can hear people say, "Do it again, one more time," blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can definitely hear it clear as day. I mean, lots of people have it on YouTube, so it's not like you cannot possess a replay of it.
Yeah,
and so that's actually very nice.
If you happen to see one, send it my way. I just haven't found one that's like of good quality.
Yeah,
you know, where it's just like I'm like, are you restreaming from like a fucking VHS cassette? Because this looks like you need to adjust the tracking, man. But I will say, like, okay, it was like 3 acts. You know, it was DJ Head, then it was DJ Mustard, then it was Kendrick, and for Head's portion of the set, it was really empty. Like so that could also played a lot into it. It really was like sections were bare. Yeah. But by the time Mustard hit the scene, it was probably, I would say, 80% capacity. Good. By the time his set was done, it was shoulder to shoulder. Yeah. It was just a moment. But what was really weird about the whole thing is that, like, it was from like 4 to 7 o'clock. You know, so for people on the East Coast, yeah, you got it until like 11 p.m. or 10 p.m. Yeah. I go to a lot of concerts, people, like a lot of fucking concerts. So going to that show and then like walking out and I'm like, ugh, it's like 7 p.m., man. Shit is still bright. Like, fuck, I don't like this. And usually that's, you know, around the time I'm leaving the house to go to the show. So it was just a bit backwards. But so yeah, we went to
is that one thing about is that one thing about like the West Coast that makes like special events difficult because they have to cater to the East Coast time zone so much?
It's like vice versa. You know, like, because sometimes we will have stuff wait early because it is catering to the opposite end, or the reverse. East Coast has to stay up like mad late because they're like, yeah, I was watching the playoff game and that shit ended at like 2 a.m. And I'm like, really? Like, yeah, well, because it's 11 by you or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes stuff is weird, like awards ceremonies, you know, like let's say like Oscars or something like that. It's like, oh yeah, the pre-award ceremony begins at 2 p.m. And I'm like, you fucking kidding me? Like, it's 2 p.m. I'm still
there's been some times where we've had like sporting events come on at like in the afternoon for various reasons, like Wednesday day baseball and stuff like that. And so it's kind of cool to be able to like put an event on while I'm working and kind of like have a nice change of pace. I couldn't imagine like being like a Cavs fan on the West Coast and being able to just watch the Cavs like whenever they play at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and then having my whole evening. Right. Because here it's like when they come on, that is the evening. So to be able to watch them and then also still have the evening, that'd be like mind blowing.
Yeah. Now I've had friends say like who are from out of state or like they love sports teams from out of state, where they're like, yeah, it's actually kind of rad because just to your point, watch the game from like 1 to 3, 1 to 4, and then we got dinner after that. Like it's just part of your day, you know. So you passively just watch and you just kind of just chilling midday. You already had lunch, so it kind of works out pretty good. Let's see where. Went to go see Megan Thee Stallion. Wow, she is on the cusp of like solidifying herself as like being I think a mainstay for the genre. Even though this is her first tour, it's like it's the little things. You could see like, okay, her set isn't as tight as it could be.
Yeah.
The stage isn't as big as it could be. But for the type of performance she gave, she needed a bigger stage. She needed more lighting. She needed more dancing, because you go see someone, I know they're different levels, but to go see like a Beyonce, and it's like her set is you are immersed in the environment. That's more of what I'm talking about. Is like the immersion. Megan played at the Staples Center, which is now Crypto, which just sounds weird. And so she really made that whole arena feel. And for those who don't know, that's where the Lakers play and the Kings, and for now the Clippers until they get their new stadium. But so she made that whole arena feel like a small club. Like she was bringing people up on stage, like they were having a good time. Her crowd interaction was like phenomenal. And just honestly, I gotta say that like her fans are beautiful people. Like really was like the most inclusive environment. I saw a TikTok the other day that was like, Megan Thee Stallion concert is the only place where you can see a goth girl, a girl with her whole ass out, and Sailor Moon getting along in the same place.
It's a very and I was like, she attracts a very specific audience. Well, not even specific, a very varied audience.
Yeah, but it was very body inclusive, and something I swear to you I have never seen it going to a Staples Center show is usually get out and everyone's just like, they're tired, they're talking about the shows, a lot of muttering, and people just walking to their cars, you know? Because Staples is in a weird location too. Like, it's not one of those places where like you go to the arena and then surrounding the arena is the parking. The parking is somewhere else. Like when you get out of that arena, you're in like basically like a I don't know what you would call it. It's not like a shopping center, just like the entertainment center where it's like it's restaurants and it's cocktail lounges and a bowling alley. Like it's the whole thing, you know? And so it was the first time I ever got out of there where people were still dancing, still playing music, like blocking traffic and just shaking ass like outside the car with the doors open, where I was like, this is like really fucking cool. Like where people didn't want to stop. So that was super fun. Like we had an amazing time. And then other than that, just kind of chilling, just doing like stuff around the house and kind of hanging out. So it's been so far a good summer. You know, just kind of trying to be also like a present person, you know. So I've been like hanging out with the kids. You know, my son's getting a little older, so he's just out on his scooter hanging out with his friends and shit. And then my daughter, I've been trying to get her out of the house with me. Like we've been like bike riding around town and whatnot. And then just like, you know, trying to steal opportunities to like hang out with my wife. So, you know, it's the stuff I don't get to do so much during the regular year because it's like people are all over the place doing things. And this way we're just able to kind of hang. So, and so far it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. Really haven't like had a lot of time for like sitting on the sofa and like getting my gaming time in. So I've been slowly working through Hellblade, and I think I'm in like the last portion, but I'm really like enjoying that game too. That's a ton of fun. I'm like I can't wait to finish it because I really want to go back and watch some videos on like what is the mental story that's taking place, because you can tell she's spiraling over something.
Yeah.
What is the sort of metaphor that we're experiencing? So pretty good. But that's been me in a nutshell.
Excellent. I love it. I love to hear it. Nothing pop with me that ain't gonna be whatever. So worry not. Okay. So we did on Krème Patisserie. We did have another one of the bakers on the show this week. We got Chris Kakuru on, and he was a real fun guy to have on there. And after we finished up, Ant was like, "Man, you should just try to get Zach Cherry, man." And I was like, "You know what, Ant? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna see if I can get Zach Cherry." Now, mind you, I didn't get Zach Cherry, But I tried to get Zach Cherry, and I got an email back from his representation. It was like, nah, he ain't got time for that. But I tried, and I think that's kind of a big deal for your boy, who, you know, I gave it a go to try to get somebody even more famous than the bakers themselves on Krème Patisserie. Didn't work out, but I did give it a go. And who knows? I'm going to try my best to. When the Great British Bake Off starts up here in the fall, I'm going to try my best to get a baker or two from that show on Krème Patisserie. I mean, I'm just going to start working my hand, working my magic, talking to whoever I can to get me the connects I need to get so I can get into that mix. Like, let me holler at them. We'll see how it plays out, but that's basically what's been calculating in my world. Nothing to it. So you know what the deal is, baby. Each week, as long as we're making a show, we slide over to Reddit, to the mean streets of the subreddit, Am I the Asshole? And we ask the question, are these people assholes? Got 3 for you this week, as I always do. First one is, am I the asshole for giving my husband an ultimatum when it comes to my mom and disabled brother living with us? The other one is, am I the asshole for not telling my girlfriend's friend, that her boob popped out? And that was the asshole for not. Come on, Dad. I felt like I did that because I was sitting there like, come on. Am I the asshole for not getting my stepdaughter a big sister gift? The step one's always fun because Dan has lived experience with steps. Not even all your siblings are your half siblings. You don't have I don't think you have any steps.
All half.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So. But you feel me. You know what I'm saying? So that whenever I pull those, it's dope because I got Dan to be like put in a little work. So which one of those y'all want to hear first? Which one y'all want to hear last?
I'm super interested in the first one because there are some nuances in there where there's like, let's say the brother has a disability, like there might be some fine lines here. I think it's to quote Method Man in Garden State. Raise your hand if you saw some titties. Like, hey. You saw a titty, like, hey, yeah, maybe I tell you, maybe I don't. Like, if you found, like, hey, it's a treat, Fair, and so fair. Maybe you should have said, maybe I don't know, like, maybe.
Well,
I'm super interested in that first one.
Let's start with that first one, which is kind of heavy, so it's nice we can kind of roll our way downhill from there. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna read you the thing again, and I need y'all to tell me if you think this person is an asshole. Am I the asshole for giving my husband an ultimatum when it comes to my mom and disabled brother living with us? Based off just that title, is this person an asshole?
They would use the word ultimatum, so yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I struggle because ultimatums are a problem, but it's like, I don't know, this one's delicate. So maybe you might be a dick.
Let us see. For context, I, 35 female, my husband, 40 male, have been together for 15 years off and on. Hold on. Husband, 35, 40, have been together 15 years off and on, married for 3. There we go. It made sense after the next sentence. I was like, what?
Okay, this relationship's already a problem.
Yeah. And we have 2 kids. Since the beginning, we have known about my older brother, who is disabled, cerebral palsy, quadriplegic, and about my elderly mother. I am the youngest of 4. I have always been clear that there will be a time when I will have to care for them both. Your boy getting blind, and they done changed the way Reddit looks. And it's like, my 2 older brothers will take on the responsibility. Will also take on the responsibility. We will each take care of them for a few months out of the year, so they are not a burden on any one of us. Well, that time is approaching. My mom recently had a conversation with us 3 siblings about how she will need to start getting help from us permanently as she is getting too old to take care of my brother on her own. She is 74 years old and currently lives in our home country, where she does not have help from one of my cousins who lives with her. He is the one that mainly takes care of my mom. Now, the issue arises that since we will need to start taking care of them on a more permanent basis, my husband does not want to have them in our home for months at a time. He and my mom have had their issues in the past, and he does recognize that she has helped us a lot with the girls. My mom took care of my oldest and did not have to take her to, so we did not have to take her to daycare, I said gay care, Lord knows, daycare, nor pay for it, as she would never charge us for watching her grandbaby. He feels that we would lose our privacy and my mom would nag us. Now, my siblings and I do not want to put her and brother in a nursing home or anything like that. So I'm an asshole for telling my husband that if he didn't like it, then he would have to leave. I do recognize that I said this in the heat of the moment, as it is not new to him. He has always known that at some point I will be caring for them. I even told him before we decided to get married, and he was on board. Edit. Wow, so many responses. This is my first time posting. I've been busy with work, so just getting to see all the comments. I'll try to address as many questions as possible. My mom and hubby get along fine. She does not mistreat him or anything like that. She actually caters to him, especially when it comes to food. Always make sure I feed him, LOL. In the Latino culture, that's how it is. Make sure your man is fed. My mom and bro are both U.S. citizens, so there's no issues with them traveling back and forth. Also, the plan my brothers and I had for a few years down the road. As for right now, my mom is still healthy and strong enough to be able to travel. Back home, she has someone who helps take care of my brother. Financially, we're all stable, and she has a good pension, so they would not be a financial burden on any of us. We all live in the same hometown, so we can all contribute to the care regardless of where mom/bro is staying. It would be very detrimental to my brother's health if we put him in an assisted living facility. He is very emotionally attached to us and our family. I really appreciate everyone's comments that they have opened my eyes to a future reality that I had not foreseen. Who are we kidding? I do believe the in-law suite option is great and one that my hubby and I have considered as well. I will say that hubby and I are fine, and words were said in the heat of the moment. We will talk further and we'll come up with a better plan, especially have backup plans. Forgive me. This is not a fake story. Just don't have all the time in the world to reply back to all the questions and read all the comments. Brothers do not have significant others, but no kids yet. Their SO are on board with taking care of mom/bro, as this has always been a part of our family plan. We have always known that when my mom is no longer able to care for my brother, we will step in. This was not expected of us, but rather a decision that we made and something that we are upfront about when entering into serious relationships. Hence why it was not a surprise to my husband. It was not something new. We will clearly have to set boundaries with all parties involved. Okay, you're an asshole, but then you're not an asshole anymore. You started off as an asshole, okay? But as you went along and clarified points and made whatever here, it's clear, no, you're not an asshole. You and your brothers as a family said, yo, we got to take care of Ma and little Stevie because he is, he is a quadriplegic who has, terrible palsy. And you made that point clear to your husband before y'all got married, and probably, like I said, as she said, they've been together for damn 15 years off and on. He knew the deal. He knew what it was.
Yeah. So
I don't even consider this actually an ultimatum. It was more like, let me get you right now.
Yeah.
This is what is required. If you don't think you can handle it, then I'm not trying to be a dick, but you got to get on your way. Just is.
Yeah, this is really like leaving someone an out. Like, because it's a serious situation. And I was really hoping this is where the conversation was going to go, because it's not an ultimatum, as it is a speaking the truth. Because the opposite end could be like, he could have been thinking like, hey, fuck, what happens when like mom passes? What happens with the brother? Like, are we supposed to take care of him? Is there like a fund or like what's happening here? So at least you let him know from the get-go, like, hey.
I feel like this story is foreshadowing my future. Because like my brother has schizophrenia and Asperger's, and so he's on like government disability and lives with my parents. And you know, my parents aren't going to be around forever. Like shit, my dad's already died once. The hospital resurrected him. So like my dad's currently on borrowed time as it is. And so it's like, what happens, you know, when, you know, they're no longer here, or they can't take care of him anymore. Like, you know, I know like there was talk of him like living with our sister, but it's like, you know, are we going to end up like this, you know, like where it's like we're playing hot potato or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Because then if you don't have the conversation, it'll turn into like, well, you end up with one sibling who this falls on more than others, and then it turns into the argument of like, well, are your brothers going to do anything? Are your sisters going to do anything? Is this just all your responsibility? Maybe I missed the part. What was his reaction? What was his response in this conversation?
So when I said to my husband, if he didn't like it, he can take it home. I did recognize, hold on. My husband does not want to have them in our home for months at a time. He and my mother have had their issues in the past, but he does recognize that she helped a lot with the girls. He basically reneging on the deal.
Yeah.
So, time for some act right, bruh.
Yeah,
you're in the wrong here.
I mean, it's almost like in this situation, she's just tapping back in. I don't think she's an asshole. It's a hard conversation. And it's like, it's to say to be with me is to, for lack of better words, to be with me is to also be with my baggage.
Yeah.
You know, like, if this is the responsibility I have, this is an agreement I have with my family, like, this is what it's going to be. You know, for him, it's kind of like, he might be the asshole because it's like, nah, but you knew what it was going to be. You knew what this is.
Here's where it get real wild as I scroll down there trying to find some comments to read. Somebody was like, hey, hold on. Is that house in your name? She goes, yeah, I bought this house before we were together. Bitch, you ain't got nothing to say then. It's my house. This is why she can tell you can get the fuck out. Because she can.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Y'all shouldn't have got married. But whatever.
I mean, hey, listen, okay, so that means they were together 11 years, married for 3. They got kids. So not unless both of those kids are like 1 and 2. I don't know. This might not be it. This might not be it.
Now I'm not even gonna delve in the comments on that one. I don't care about it. This woman is not an asshole, and I'm not saying her husband an asshole. He was a dick, but not an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm not the asshole for not getting my stepdaughter a big sister gift. If you're just taking that at face value.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
Well, let's go for it. Let's see if minds are changed. I've been married to my husband for 3 years. He has a daughter from a previous marriage, Callie, age 7. I ended up pregnant around the same time as my husband's ex/Callie's mom, Sandra. She gave birth 2 months after me. We didn't talk much about it. My husband and I did talk to Callie about the baby. We read her books about it, assured her that she'll always be our family, we love her, etc. The baby is an addition to our family, not replacing her in any way. I know Sandra and her husband had a similar talk. We validated Callie's feelings on the subject. Anyway, I had a baby shower and Callie was there. She also went to her mother's. Sandra's was after mine. A lot of people at the shower got stuff for Callie as well as the baby, which I thought was sweet. No one had gotten her anything at mine, but my friends and family always do on Christmas and her birthday. This was a party for me and my husband, so I didn't think anything of it. After all, we'd never expect anything on her birthday or any other occasion for her. I had my son. Callie was super excited to meet him. She brought him a teddy bear that sister-in-law had taken her to get for the baby. sister-in-law, husband's sister, kept hinting at if there was a gift for Callie. I didn't think much of it at the time. Then Sandra had her daughter. Sister-in-law brought her a bear for Callie to give Sandra, and her husband had a ton of gifts for Callie to celebrate her becoming a big sister. Again, very sweet. Didn't think much of it. My son is 3 months. When Sandra was dropping off Callie the other day, she asked to speak to me privately. She asked why I hadn't gotten Callie a big sister gift. I said that I didn't know it was expected. Sandra said it's normal. She kept harping on the subject. Finally, I snapped and said, I have enough going on. Callie doesn't need a gift. This is about my son. We will celebrate Callie on her birthday, and whenever she has a big event. I'd never expect someone to get something for my son when those events happen, as that'll be about Callie and not him. Now, some of my in-laws are mad at me. My husband agrees with me that we didn't have to get Callie anything, and has told Sandra that too. Has told Sandra that. Period. To be clear, Callie hadn't said anything about this. She didn't hear the argument or anything. According to Sandra, she's expressed extreme disappointment. We hadn't had any issues with Sandra until this point, and I don't want to rock the boat, but I also found the whole thing ridiculous. It is kind of weird that you just like. It feels like her stepdaughter, but was like is an afterthought to her. By the way, this is written. I'm not saying that is actually factual. I'm not saying. I'm just saying what I have in front of me. And this is her, despite, y'all being step whatever, that's her half sibling, regardless. You know what I'm saying? That is just how the math is mathing here. And I'm not saying you had to get her, massive gifts like her mom's family did, but a big sibling gift is a known. That's not an out of the whatever kind of deal,
The only time there were times when like my siblings got gifts when they were like young, but they were too young to understand that like it was somebody else's birthday. But that shit didn't go on for very long, and like that wasn't like commonplace. Like, oh, it's that was just something that once they understood, that shit was done. There was no like, oh, it's big brother gift for this person's birthday. Like, nah, fuck that. Like,
well, no,
one like person's birthday. That's it.
And that's not even what's popping right here. It was just like this is going to be these children on either side of her family are going to be the children that make her a big sister. And like I said, a big sister gift, a big brother gift, that's a known. And so I don't find it too egregious. I find it weird that this lady didn't think of it. Actually, it makes me wonder what kind of mama you is. But hey,
well, I think okay. So in my opinion, like I have a very distinctly different perspective than you. Then, because though it is known, I don't agree with it. Like, I firmly don't agree with it because it's like I think we, in a bigger picture, we over celebrate and overcompensate. Like, I don't agree with like gift giving for the sake of gift giving to make you feel better. Like, this is not this is a we thing. This is the recognition that this child is being born. This is a brand new experience, and they've let her be a part of it. Like, she was part of the baby shower. She's been a part of the dialogue, so they've let her be a part of it. And it's like, you'll get your time, and this is baby's time. Like, it's a big event. It's kind of along the same lines of now the known thing is you go to a birthday party, kid's birthday party, and the kids leave with a fucking gift bag to go. And it's like, wait, whose party is this? I got to pay money for these fuckers to come to my house and then leave with some shit? Nah, that you came and got some cake and some pizza. Fucking beat feet. And so it's like, I think it's one of those things. It's up to the family to make the choice, because she did state, and we're gonna recognize Callie when it's her birthday for sure. Straight up party, all that shit. We're gonna do it. Definitely. Because then it's like, where are we also having the conversation about the push present? Like there's presents and presents and presents on presents. And so it's like, though some things may be the norm in a certain community, it doesn't mean it's an absolute. And sometimes you have to experience the moment and not have to be given a gift, because it's like, depending on where you're coming from, the gift is the baby. The gift is the celebration of the life that's coming in, not that you got a toy, you know? But so for me, it's just, it's a thing that sticks with me a lot, is the participation gifts. We do a lot of like celebration because you participated, when it's like, nah, you just got to be in the room. Be happy with that. Like, because it sets a different precedent. And I think it's unfair, like, because now we're diminishing the fact that there was this other greater experience that took place, and now they're going over something petty, like, well, you didn't get her a gift, and it's like, I mean, yeah, you know. Also, having babies is mad expensive. Like, you don't know my financial status. Like, maybe the best they could do was just take her to get a Happy Meal that day. I don't know. You know, but I'm like, nah, I'm not for big brother, big sister type of gifts. It's like, nah, this is not right now. You have to learn this is not your time. Not in a harsh way, but just know, like, this is not for you, and you will have your time. And there's going to be moments in life when it's for you and when it's not for you. And that's a reality.
Hey, and friends disagree sometimes, people. It's okay. Let's see what the comments say. Not the asshole. I will say, for a 7-year-old with divorced parents who both had babies within the span of a couple of months of each other, it's a nice ideal. The amount of attention shift that just happened is pretty drastic, and it's never wrong to make a kid feel special too, especially when there are 2 newborns around that need more attention right now. I would do it personally, even if it's something small or a planned special outing, just her and her dad, or something, so she doesn't need to feel ignored. Then somebody comes in, I agree. I think for any child, the shift from only child and all the attention to sharing that with a newborn is a lot. I'd get her a baby doll as a present from the baby. Whatever they're doing with the baby, she can do with the doll. It keeps connection even whilst busy with the newborn, and lets the eldest feel involved and busy. Okay, it's a tight. Let me scroll down a little bit, see if this somebody has something else here. I'm going, everyone sucks here. Sandra's vastly overestimating how normal this is, and why is she bugging the OP about it and not her ex? But then I want to read you this. So they quoted the article, whatever. Callie doesn't need a gift. This is about my son. We will celebrate Callie on her birthday and whenever she has a big event. And then she wrote, but this bothers me. No, it's not just about the baby. Callie is going through a big transition, and so are you and your husband. Your son is a baby. He's more worried about being fed, cuddled, and clean than whether his big sister got some extra gifts. And then somebody comes in, yeah, that bothered me too. Have you tried to make the girl feel important and part of the family? And you don't make someone feel important or part of the family by buying them gifts. Somebody responds, and then the person says, the person you're replying to did not say you do, but OP is not indicating that they have made any attempt to make it so she is not left out. So it's bouncing back and forth here. People saying everyone sucks here. I guess I could.
Didn't she state in there? Didn't she state she went to the showers? They've been having she's been an active participant. I thought she said that.
Let's let me click here. There's literally a plus sign that gives us a little more. Yes, they did. They said her and Callie's dad had multiple conversations with Callie and validated her feelings, which means Callie must have expressed some feelings to the two of them, which was only verbal and not materialistic things. Y'all are ignoring that part. And somebody comes in. Hopefully they have included her in the process. Painting the nursery. Do you like the color of this one? Who cares if they're basically the same? Which outfit is your favorite? This is even stuff they can do now. Make her feel like she's a part of the process. Okay, but y'all just want to fight with each other, I guess, is what the internet wants to do sometimes. Y'all want to just have a back and forth on the internet about the shit? Look, I think
she's got a feisty room, huh?
Yeah, I guess I think it's perfectly fine to get the kid a big sister present. Chaufie disagrees. Dan was like presents when they super little, but fuck them after a while. So you got the range.
Oh, no,
of
I
emotions
fully
here.
agree. I fully agree with Chaufie. I said it happened. I didn't say that I agree with it.
Oh, fair enough. And there you go, people. I'm the weirdo, and or at least the standout in this particular operation. And I think I'm going to make it a point to get Anthony's children some Big Brother presents. Although one is already a big brother, but one is becoming a big brother. I'll figure it out. Last one up. Come on, titty. Am I the asshole for not telling my girlfriend's friend that her boob popped out?
No.
Box.
Yes, for the first minute.
Oh, okay.
I mean, before you read the thing, can I just not to assume that this is a male in this dialogue, but because I'm speaking from the male perspective, if I were to be like, "Hey, Sally, your titty's out," and it's my girlfriend, it's my wife's friend, the next statement is, "Why are you looking at her titties?" And so then now you gotta back that. So, ooh, it's a fine line, man. So I think Dad is right. You know, it's like maybe 30 seconds. You know, you get a moment to lock it in the brain, and then you'd be like, tap on your girl and be like, hey, you gotta tell your homegirl her titties out. You know.
Fair.
But I digress. Continue.
Me and my girlfriend and her friend are staying at a hotel together. We went to the hotel swimming pool to check it out, and the three of us were frolicking about. It was just us three. I'm a guy. Got that clarified. Anyway, her friend went under the water, and when she came out, her entire left boob was entirely out of the bikini top. I was like a deer caught in the headlights, and I froze. I figured if I said anything, she'd think I was looking, and it would be awkward. So I figured I'd just say nothing, and when she noticed, she could fix it, rather than draw attention to the fact I saw her tit. Tit is a fun word. Suddenly, my girlfriend pipes up and lets her know. The friend fixes her bikini. Girlfriend slaps my arm and tells me I was just staring with my mouth open. Later on that night, much later, girlfriend's friend privately asked me if I was looking at her boobs. I lied and said no. She seemed perturbed. That was it. That is the entire I'm an asshole.
Yeah. You know, I mean, also, you see titties in the wild, like, you know, you're just like, oh. You know, you go freeze a little. Like, what do you want me to do?
No, I have been in this situation. And it is not a freeze of like, girl, your titty out. It is just a quickly, yo, fix that. And so, and no one is thinking,
see, and I think
you were looking at my titty. No one thinking that. They're thinking, oh, thank God you I'm saying, you handle it immediately, and you keep it motherfucking moving. And no one's going to think less of you or different of you. My man's, that means he was sitting there long enough to clock all of this and go through let it tick through his mind like, man, if I say something about this titty, just staring at the titty the whole time, I can get in trouble.
Time went real slow. And, you know, he was just like...
the titty flapping back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say in the moments in the situations I've been in this, it's also always been like a stranger, you know, where then I'm like, oh, and I just walk away. Like, I'm like, because it's like, I don't want to be that weird dude too, where like, hey, excuse me, miss, your boob is out. You know, it's like, or I'll tell the closest female to me, like, hey, you gotta tell homegirl over here, you know, titty's falling out. You know,
also, it's also wild to me that she ain't noticed her titty was out.
Right. It
but again,
that she can't feel
it. So I've heard
it's a fact.
No. So I'm about to say to you, and you can clap back at me because, you know, saying you're in the home of fake titties. I'm saying, Callie, you got fake titties everywhere. I have heard that some women who get fake boobs have ending issues, and therefore their titties is lightweight, kind of numb. But I did not know if that was every pair of fake titties or just certain fake titties that maybe were not done as well as they could have been done.
Now, I could be super wrong. And for anyone, this is not my podcast, so I don't give a shit. You can hit T up. You can yell at him.
Also, if you straight up, if you the listener know if you got fake titties and have a better understanding of this shit, I'm telling you what I've heard before. I've heard people say that, you know what I'm saying, I got fake titties and I don't have as much feeling in them as when they were real titties.
Yeah.
So
I've heard it has to do more with like the nipple removal. Because then once you detach, like if there's multiple ways to put in implants.
Yeah.
And so if they just sort of shove them in, you might experience a situation where, because the nipples might be pointing in different directions based on how it's in, because now you've reshaped the body, right?
Okay.
So if they remove the nipples, you've now detached it from all the nerve endings. So when they reattach, they're not like technically in the same location that they once were, because you've centered them, and that's where the sensitivity may no longer exist, or wherever there's scarring, you know? So I guess it depends on like what type of work you've had done, you know?
Yeah.
So,
bro, I can't call
that's Titty Talk with me and T. New segment on Cadillac on Mars. What's up with Tit?
Welcome to Titty Talk. Okay. You're the asshole. Problem would exist if you just said you need to fix your top, or even if you didn't do that, your girlfriend did and accused you of staring. You just told the truth like a normal person and said, yes, you noticed, but didn't know how to bring it up. Lying about not noticing isn't going to work with anyone with a brain. So you're caught out there. Yeah, you did lie. Like, no, I didn't see no idiot. Now staring all that. Somebody responds, right. It's just a boob, my guy. It's not a big deal. Something I've learned is that 99% of the time, an embarrassing situation is only embarrassing if someone makes it weird. If OP just sort of blew it off to cut the potential for the friend's embarrassment, it would have been a 2-second thought, addressed and fixed, and everyone moves right along. One would think it's just a boob, but women have a wildly varying reaction to this sort of situation. I understand why he froze up. I disagree, bro. Like I said, I have had this occur. And again, I'm just immediately like, "Hey, girl, fix your titty." Oh, thank you, and we keep them up.
Yeah, what do these fucking people think we're not looking? Like, I'm not. It's not like I'm sitting there oogling, but like, you don't think if I'm hanging out with someone that like I don't notice what's going on with them? Like, if it's a woman, you don't think that you think I don't notice that she's got titties? Like, I have plenty of female friends that are married for years. You don't think like I haven't noticed like when their wives got cleavage out and shit like that? Like, that shit is natural. It happens. Let's stop pretending like it don't.
Facts. Like, this dude is weird because he made it weird. And then it gets like all uncomfortable.
I helped my buddy's wife take her bra off. Like, this shit happens. Yeah. Like, when you're close to people and you feel comfortable, you can have these kinds of conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if it's just the three of them, if it's the three of them hanging out in this situation, then it also says to me that there's probably a level of like closeness.
Yeah,
you know, like they probably kick it, and so I mean, even in the opportunity, like he was given a second opportunity. You know, she was just like, "Hey, do you see my boob?" Yeah, because it was out.
Because it could have been just, I'm sorry. That's it.
Yeah, I should have said. It gave him the chance to just fess up and just be like, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, you know, I did see. I really didn't. Whatever angle he wanted to take it to. Like, I don't want to make you weird. I felt weird. I didn't know what to say, or just was like, that was a damn fine titty. Like, I don't know. Whatever it was. Like, he had the chance to kind of come clean with it, and still was like, no, I didn't see nothing. And it's like, nah, fool. We saw you all slack jaw. The fuck you talking about?
Gosh, like, yeah, you dumb fuck. Yes, you're the asshole.
So I was gonna say, I think less, because you just said it right now, and I was gonna say, not so much an asshole, you're a dumb fuck.
Fair enough. And that was this week's Am of the Assholes. Hope you enjoyed them. They are, of course, in the show notes. If you would like to read them and get into the comments yourself, they'll be right there. You just click on the link and enjoy. But let's get on over to our entertainment recommendations and what we got down with over the week. I had said last week that I watched the Doctor Who finale. Turns out I was wrong. The finale was this past weekend, and I did watch it, and I loved it. And let me tell you something, man. This is one of the best seasons of Doctor Who that is I've ever seen. And I've been watching Doctor Who since it came back with Chris Eccleston, fucking however long ago that was. But yeah, Trudy Gotway is one hell of a doctor, but also having Russell T Davies back writing and show running Doctor Who makes for a damn fine bit of Who television, and highly recommend. It's on Disney Plus if you have it, and very, very, very good season all around, in my opinion. Star Wars: The Acolyte remains fire, and yesterday's episode, Wednesday, right? Whatever, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever that shit come out, was ill, and in all the good ways. And so I'm very excited about the direction the show is heading. I hate that the episodes are so short. But they are, and it is what it is. I told y'all last week I started Metroid Zero Mission. It's kind of just a little like whatever, but that game got its hooks in me, and it was real fun, and I ended up beating Metroid Zero Mission. And so it's my first 2D Metroid that I ever completed. I've only ever beat the Prime games, but very much very fun, and so much so that I have owned Metroid Dread since it came out. I have the special edition of Metroid Dread, like the big book and box set, steel book and all that shit, but I never actually played it. And so I pulled that off the shelf and tossed it in the Switch and started working on that today. The controls are taking me some time to get used to, and I think after a little bit, once I start, if I give it some focus and really get to playing it, I think I'll be fine. And Metroid Dread is the next Metroid game that next game I have plans here to work my way through. Although I do have a pre-order for NES World Championship out there that game comes out here in a few weeks, so that'll be here at some point. I have not started a book, but I do have a book in my Libby app waiting for me. It's what the fuck is it? It's a Neil Gaiman movie and comic, or no, whatever, not comic, but book he wrote, as you can tell, and I cannot think of the name of it. It is Stardust. If you ever watched the movie Stardust, it was Claire Danes and Charlie Cox, the guy who played Daredevil, and it's a real good movie. And I saw somebody recently on YouTube review that movie or recap the movie, or you know how YouTube is, react to that movie. And I was like, yeah, that's a book. I really wouldn't mind reading that book. So I snagged that book on Libby, and I certainly will, once I give that a spin, I'll let you know what's up with that. But musically, the Foreign Exchange is this year celebrating 20 years of being the Foreign Exchange. Fonte and Nicolay. And they dropped a I guess it's a single. Yeah, the other day celebrating that, and they also put it on sale. 300 copies, no represses. Did your boy get one? Yes, your boy got one. The Gray / I Couldn't Love You More, which is the Gray is Fonte rapping, which is always nice. The Foreign Exchange is mostly Fonte singing, but he can rap, and every now and again will rap. But then I Couldn't Love You More is him covering the Sade song, and it's very good. Fonte has a wonderful singing voice, and it's dope. But I'm also just happy that they put that on sale, and I was able to get it. I sent it to my buddy Aaron on Twitter, but he didn't get to it soon enough, and it is indeed sold out. Like I said, it was limited to 300 copies. I mean, I put it everywhere. I sent it to Aaron, but I'm in the vinyl release Reddit, and so I even actually put it in there, so people were aware that, like I said, this was out, and like I said, it just worked out. My man just didn't get a chance to get it. I feel bad for him, but I am glad that I did get it, and it ships like in like September, so I guess it's gonna be forever away. I got that Vince Staples too, man. I that went on sale when his album dropped. So what I got coming down the line in the realm of records? And I got that Cummy Bathwater of what's the fucking name of that movie? Saltburn vinyl. So they announced a liquid filled bath water is what they called it, filled record. And Vanessa sent it to me, Chaufie sent it to me, and I I ordered that for Vanessa. That one had to get paid for in pounds because that's coming from England, and I definitely don't think I'll see that till the end of the year.
Does it have actual nut in it?
Brad, you never ever know. I have a liquid field record. I have a copy of the Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 soundtracks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the blood one.
That is full of blood. So it's not the first liquid record I will have in possession, but Vanessa wanted that one, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I got you." You know what I'm saying? She loves Saltburn, which is so funny to me.
You're like, you really trying to convince me to buy vinyl?
I mean, at all times, you know what, we got to cop records. But I remember when Saltburn initially came out, and I had read reviews of it and seen people were like, "Yeah, I don't fuck with this movie." And I told Vanessa about it. I'm like, I don't know if I'm like, look, I go, it might be up your alley, but I truly think I don't think you're gonna fuck with it. So she watched the first time. She's like, this shit was whack. And she watched it again. She's like, I don't know. And then she watched it like third, fourth, fifth, sixth time. And then she was at that point, she was just down. She loved Saltburn. And so it just, that movie is a wild boy. And if you have not seen Saltburn, it is, where was Saltburn at? Might have been on Amazon. So.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So if you hadn't seen Saltburn, give Saltburn a watch. It's a real, they call it a dark comedy, and nothing about that movie make me laugh. So it must be too dark for your boy. So that's what's up, man. That's what I've been up to. I'm saying that's what my entertainment has been. Box, what about you, good sir?
I don't know. I don't remember if I talked about this on the show last week or not, but I watched Shane Gillis's Netflix show Tires.
You did not.
And okay, yeah, I watched that like a week and a half ago or so. It's an easy watch. It's like 6 20-minute episodes or something like that. Okay. But it's funny, like if you're into the Shane Gillis kind of comedy. And I'm also current on The Boys, which includes today's episode, which was one of the craziest episodes of anything I've ever watched before.
Oh shit! Okay, there you go. You get down with The Boys, and you know what's up. There you go. Call of Duty, anything like that?
I've been playing Call of Duty. I actually set a new personal PR the other day. I finally broke double digits, got 10 kills in a game. So that's been nice.
Have you tried that 8-bit mode yet?
No, I haven't gotten to play the last like 2 days. So
okay.
I doubt that people will play anyway. They mostly just stick to the big map Warzone. So
I mean, you got a whole chalk.
Yeah, I dipped in the other day. It was rather fun. Just something different. I did like 2 rounds, but just enough to say I did. But I wanted to see how that sort of 8-bit sort of feel would fit into this. So I would say just check it out, even just for worth of like, oh, this is what they did.
Yeah, I was playing Fortnite before I got on here, and I had a moment there where I was literally, I'm not joking at all when I tell you this. I was down to a sliver of health. This dude came hit me with his car because, of course, that's the meta in that game at this point. But I had the guitar, which is a power-up that exists in Fortnite right now, which basically gives you like a super jump so you can jump away from bullshit. So I hit the guitar, I jump away. I get some distance, but this motherfucker comes up again with this damn car. So I guitar away a second time. And this time I'm gone. But I cannot, for the life of me, find any health and or chug jugs to get my shields up or anything. So down to just a sliver of health and about 25% on my shields, I murdered like 3 people and was laughing, cackling that I was able to pull this off because I was like, 2 of them was just snipes. You know what I'm saying? I was getting from way up high. But one of them, it was me versus him. He came around that corner and I hit him with that shotgun twice and just dropped him right there. And I was in the train tunnel that's over that way, and I found several barrels, and that kind of helped get my health and my shields back up. But buddy, it was a wild one out there in these Fortnite streets today, man. Chaufie, what the hell you been playing on, bruv? Playing, watching, doing all that.
Let's see. I wanted, because you were talking about Libby, and so I wanted to just make a suggestion because you brought up Neil Gaiman. There's a Latin author. Her name is Silvia Moreno Garcia. I really recommend checking out her writing on. She does audiobooks on Libby. You can get like the text versions too. A lot of like darker type of writing, gothic type of writing. Like she has a book called like I think it's like The Daughter of Dr. Moreau, and so it's like from a different lens. A book I really, really enjoyed called Certain Dark Things, and it's just about like vampires and like in and around Mexico City. That one I really, really recommend. But even Mexican Gothic, which I think is either going to be a movie or it might be a HBO like what is that called? Like not a miniseries, but where it's just like a short run, just like 6 episodes and that's it. But so her stuff is really, really interesting. So just because you had brought up Libby, I was like, and Neil Gaiman, it made me kind of go into that realm. I really recommend checking out her stuff. Super, super good.
She got a lot of.
I just finished. Yeah, she's got a good run. And I think for what's in my area with Libby, I've listened to like everything she has, and really, some writings are stronger than others. Or it might take a little bit longer to like kick into gear, but in the end, they're like an interesting. They don't end the way you think they would, you know. So I'm with that. I finished Reservation Dogs, and I kind of had been sitting on that one because I didn't want it to end, you know. So it's like if I didn't watch it, then it wasn't over, and that is such a good show. And this final season was like, it was amazing. And just watching like how they wrapped it up and like wrapped it up appropriately. I would love to see like maybe a one-off episode like 10 years from now, just to see where the characters are as they're older. But that show is so fucking good. I loved it. And then, and that's because that's kind of the thing I've been doing this summer too, is just like finishing up stuff. So I finally finished Mr. and Mrs. Smith. But to hear my opinion on that, you got to listen to the upcoming episode of Cadillac on Mars. I think T and I might get into it, so we'll put a pin in this. And then I did finish Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
Fuck. That movie is amazing. Like, it was the first time I watched a movie and it was live action anime, but not like, it's not like how Netflix has One Piece and it's a live action version of an anime. It's like the way that they shot things in -1 were right out of like how you've seen scenes in anime. You know, like for example, one scene in particular when Godzilla comes and is destroying the city and Homegirl pushes the guy into like a sort of alcove and then the land just like blows past her. That was like very Akira. You know, it was like, oh, I've seen these scenes, the way they're shot, the angles they're taking, where I was like, fuck, this is brilliant. And then just how they made it old without sepia tone, trying to make it look old. You know what I mean? Like it seems like, yeah, they really, or it's like where they try to make things look old, but it's too shiny because it's done through a modern perspective. It's just, I can't put my finger on what it is, but it's like from like the style to the costumes to the way that people interact. I'm like, oh yeah, this could have been a 70s movie. Like one that they were just like, we just found it and gave it a little HD up-res. The fucking movie is amazing. Super pleased with it.
It's on Netflix right now. Watch it while it is, because you know all things get snatched over Netflix, and you can't own it in America yet. So it's not like you can go buy a copy of it. So just watch it while you can, because it's worth it. God, such a good movie.
Yeah. And then the last sort of piece for me is got a really weird sort of itch recently to revisit Digable Planets. and give them like their true respect that they deserve. One, this back and forth between Drake and Kendrick has been exciting and intense, and then going to pop out, and so it's like I want something that's just a vibe, you know. And I gotta say, like, I actually skipped the first album and went out to the second album, which is the Blowout Comb. That album could come out today.
Yes.
And I think that Gen Z would eat it the fuck up, because that album, without Diggable Planets, you get no Steve Lacy. You get no Tyler. Like, those guys who are really bending the sort of hip-hop R&B sort of genre, but not in a 112 Diddy sort of bad boy vibe, just in a smooth, you know what I mean? It's like, it's different, and it's jazzy. It's like, I don't know, I was just like, they deserve a lot more respect than what they have.
Reaching is a much doper album. I think people give credit because they just think of cool like that, and I'm like, nah, bruh. Reaching,
which cool like that is amazing. No disrespect,
no doubt. But Pacific Heights, which is also on that album, of Femme Fatale, which is about abortion, but I mean, it's like it's an amazing song about that particular topic. Like I said, Reaching is a very dope album in its own right. I got both of them over there. I have both of them in very specific colorways. So I have a Blowout Comb and Reaching over on the shelf over here. They are very, very dope. Highly recommend. I could not agree with you more. I'm glad that you went back.
And if you've never listened to Diggable Planets, you wouldn't feel like, oh, this shit was hot in like fucking 95. No. It'll be new to you today, and you would put it in your rotation.
I remember,
like I said, if you're a fan of those.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, if you're a fan of those artists that I mentioned earlier, or that sort of vein, you know, like, you'll be pleased. Like it, and especially right now, like summertime, where it's like you're hitting those golden hours and you're kicking it with friends, backyard parties and shit like that. Man, it's the right vibe for this time of year.
I remember my high school best friend Justin, who I get to hang out with next month. And at some point, Box, we got to try to figure out how to get him on the show. We'll work it out. He loved their first album, but did not get down with Blowout Comb because, in his opinion, it was too Brooklyn. which in my adulthood, and probably even his adulthood, he probably realizes it's probably just a little too black for his taste, but he ain't probably know how to word it no better.
Right up there, because when you said a little too Brooklyn, I said, oh, a little too urban.
But like I said, we're just in high school, and like I said, we may not have had the vocabulary to speak it through, but Blowout Comb is amazing. Reaching is amazing. Both Diggable Planets long players are dope. You should probably get down with the down. Mm-hmm. That's what's up. Thank you, Chaufie, man. Thanks for coming through for one. You know what I'm saying? I sent the bad signal up last week, and Chaufie's like, I got you, which is dope. Chaufie and I host a program called So Chef. He named it. It's the Bear Podcast. The Bear Podcast. We have not managed to get a record in, but that's because Chaufie been at every concert that you can think of recently that's happened in the city of LA. And so
I've been trying, man.
I trust you. And so we don't worry, it's still there. We're still working on it. But the Bear season 3 started tonight. It's out right now. You can go watch it. All of it's out there. I have not watched a single episode of it. It got a middling review from IGN for the season. I was like, whatever. But we'll see how that goes, and eventually we'll talk about it on So Chef, because that's how this process works. We'll get around to it. It's a pretty dope show, I think, and I'm very proud of the work we do on that. He also is the host of Cadillac on Mars. We do that once a month. Every now and again we talk about doing more, but we never do. But it could happen. And every now and again, he'll do a special episode with just like famous guests from people you wouldn't even like. What the fuck, man? How'd you get that guy? Because Chaufie knows a guy who knows a guy, and sometimes just knows guys. Baby. Yeah. So I'm telling you right now, if you're trying to get down, you got options, and we get down with that. And that one is, of course, on the PSVG network of shows. And so when we do that one, it's done live. You could come in and watch it. It's available everywhere. But we spin that bad boy up. It's on everywhere that you can watch video at, pretty much. So if you want to watch us record,
join the chat, give us live commentary.
Yeah. Get on in. It's a good time to be had. We try to talk to the audience, although, man, I got to tell you, once we get going, it's a challenge to notice that the text is happening on the side of the screen and make sure we respond to it. But we try. It's not normally what we do. You know what it is? Please rate, review, subscribe, and share this show wherever possible. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go subscribe to our Instagram so we get the follows that are over there, and you'll help blow those up. If you want to support the show financially, got a couple bucks to our way, consider joining us over Patreon. Remember the $5 tier. Get extra content each month and early access to new shows. We also have merch over at tpublic.com/user/StageCrunchyMilk. All one word. Go buy a shirt. I say go buy a shirt. Go buy an iPhone case or an Android case. A Samsung S20, whatever we up to case. Enjoy. Go do that. Feel free to hit us up, 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We'd certainly love to hear from you. Let me do a quick little check to see if we have heard from anybody, because we took last week off again. So it was because, it was Aunt's birthday. So did we take last week off? No, we didn't. That episode is up right now. Yeah, we took the week before off, but the episode we recorded last week is up right now. So I guess it's possible that people have responded to it. Let me see. Let me poke around a couple of places. Nothing on the show page. Let's ping over here to podcast at stagecrunchyMilk.com. See if anybody hit us up over there. On the double check the discount. Sorry, people, we got to wait for the internet to internet. And nothing over there. But no worries. When you feel the call to give us some feedback, I know you will, and we are always grateful for it. Our missing man is the 216's own Tatum. 216. He is, like I said, he's out of town right now, but congratulations to him and the lady. They, if everything works out, then they have found a new home to call theirs, and we are hopeful that all plays out as it should. That is the Big Homie Lunchbox 2099.
I was present for this.
You were.
And that wasn't AI.
Am I battling Ghost or AI? A film called AI, and my sixth sense telling me to off me. Bruh, how was it? We'll talk about it Monday. I'm going to stop myself right now. We're going to talk about this pop out on Cadillac on Mars, because we're going to
get into it. We're going to get into it.
Oh, show. And like I said, mind you, I just talked about the pop out last week on this show. Me and Chaufie were texting back and forth. Was trying not to text him too much, because he was, of course, at the event, and I wanted him to be there and be present. But also, when shit was happening, I had to be like, nigga. And he was there to respond to my nigga call. And it was good. It was good to have a friend like that who can be like, you right. Not you right, nigga, because he would never. But you understand what I mean when I say that.
No. Yeah. I said friend.
I said neighbor. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I said ninja.
That's Chaufie. It's the homie. And
out here.
I've given you all his information, so you'll do it what you will. Plus, it'll be a link in the show notes where you'll see his name. If you click that name, it'll just take you to his Twitter. So there you go.
Yeah, or hit me. I'm barely on the Twitter now. Hit me on the Instagram. That's where you find me the most. You can see all my my concert escapades, which also just bought tickets for Camp Flogna, which sold out this afternoon. I saw how so I'm super hyped.
It sold out in minutes.
Yeah,
because I saw the post.
The lineup is.
Well, yeah, that's because it's in November. It'll probably Vince. Who said?
Yeah,
he said that had he known that it's Tommy the Clown, right?
Tommy the Clown was.
Had he known Tommy the Clown was going to be at that damn pop out, he would have canceled his tour. Big up, okay?
Now,
I want you to know.
Remind me when we talk on Monday about Tommy the Clown, because do you guys know about Tommy the Clown?
I'm aware of Tommy the Clown, but I was already aware of Tommy the Clown and Crumping, and we talked about it a little bit last week on the show. But I know there's more history there, and I actually talked about you telling me how there's more history there. So I'm very excited to hear about you break that down.
Like I said, Tommy the Clown. Yeah,
we're gonna have a real fun Cadillac. We recorded this upcoming Monday, so by the time you hear this, it will have occurred already. But just in case, whatever, you know what I'm saying, you don't know, you should probably go on to Cadillac on Mars. It's a really great show. It's Chaufie, and my man Delvin of the Delvin Cox Experience. And if he is able to get down with us, you know what I'm saying, what's up with Sean, man? I realize, you know what I'm saying, you used to at least shoot him an invite. Now you got to the point where like you don't even bother doing that. I just wonder how he is.
No, I mean, we still talk. Sean's out here. Sean used to be my co-host when we did Games We Don't Play, and then we shifted to Cadillac, and he did a few Cadillacs. He's just out here being a pillar of the community. You know, like he's over here managing basketball and softball leagues in the area of Atlanta, and you know, right now I think he's doing some like legal work. You know, so he's just you know, out here being a dad, being a family man, and just really like supporting the Black community as it should be, respectfully.
You let him know I sent him some love.
Definitely, for sure.
I am the internet's Tay-Rail 713. Don't make me push you into traffic. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.